All right, I'm working on my 2014 Jaguar XF. This is the four-cylinder, two-liter turbo, and problems I'm having with it is the AC compressor seized up, and I got a busted heater hose that runs underneath the air intake there in the back of the engine there. So got a few things already taken out. I had to remove the little cover on the front frame there. I had to remove all the air intake ducts and stuff like that. And that's pretty much all. And I had to remove the coolant reservoir. All right. So how simple it is. Went to the dealership, called all around all the dealerships. You know, they want to charge me probably about $3,000-$4,000 to work on, this Jaguar. So they want to charge a lot of money. You got five bolts holding in the air intake, so I'm taking those out now. And then there's another plate down there that connects the main inlet for the air intake. I got to get that unbolted. And then the hose that I'm working on is actually this hose. It's got like a little T connection right there in the middle, and it just snapped off. I mean, just broke. I mean, it's probably why Jag has so many problems with cooling systems and stuff like that. Probably cheap type of parts that are made for it. But it is what it is. The hose to replace it only costs like $35. Actually, it might have been $45, but but you got to take off the air intake to get to the hose, like somewhere in the middle, right underneath it on that side. And then the AC compressor is right there, so it's pretty easy to get to, you know what I mean? So it's no big deal. You got your power steering pump right here, so serpentine belt run everything, so it's pretty easy. All right, I got everything tore down pretty good. I got the hose out for the heater hose. It's connected actually on this end of the on the block itself there, and it goes all the way underneath the air intake manifold, and it T connects to the radiator hose coming in the back. So kind of weird place, but all it was a quick connect, just got brittle and broke off. I guess that's a common problem with most cars anyways. Back I got the compressor out. The thing that got me on the compressor was that the actual compressor, it turns freely, but when it was in the car and you turn on the AC, it freezes up and then locks up the serpentine belt. But when I checked the pressures, like put your hand over the suction and discharge pressure, doesn't matter which way you turn it, you should either get some pressure or some suction. Either way, it's not making any pressure suction, so it's probably something internal that's jacked up, and that shut down everything. So because that's jacked up, you got to replace the condenser in there and the dryer, so that all comes together. And then the cool part about the radiator, the way it's set up in here, because it's kind of free floating, all I got to do is just disconnect all the hoses, from the radiator, the intercooler for the turbo, just disconnect the connections on there, and this whole unit just slides right out. So I'll get that done. I might even just replace the radiator, that's how I usually get. I'll just replace everything, and that way I know for sure there ain't gonna be no problem. But that makes sense if you're gonna keep the car a long time. I'm not gonna keep it that long, so I'll just check and make sure everything's free, free of any kind of debris, and then go from there. And I got it all tore apart. Found out the water hose issue was just a quick disconnect, just snapped off in the back. I guess that's a common problem on most cars, and just in an awkward location. And then the front part of the connection is underneath the intake air manifold, so I had to pull that up, and it took me so long to get that off, get the hose clamp off of there. I should have just left the hose clamp on there and then pulled out the other end, cut it off, and put another quick disconnect on there and reconnected it, and that would have saved me a whole lot more time messing around with that. But you live and you learn. I don't know too much about the car, but I'm learning as I go, and figuring out easier ways to do things with it. All right, so like I said, this is the 2.0 turbo. Ain't a lot of videos online show you how to work on nothing, but I'll start posting stuff on any vehicle I got. As you can see, I got a Chrysler 300 but that's 2018, and this is a Mercedes C250, and this is 2012. So, all right, I done put this hose back together. All I did was move. I got a new quick disconnect and installed it on that end right there, and I moved this hose clamp from this end because there's a little tight fit in there to get off, and I put the screw-on type clamp on that end so I could easily take a screwdriver and screw it back in. But that was pretty much all I needed to fix it. It cost me about, $9 to get a new quick disconnect. The hose is still long enough, and with this fitting on there, this fitting probably costs about $2, something like that. And that's pretty much all I need to, fix the heater hose. And I'm about to go back and install it. Now, if you really want to get fancy with it, I bought this little splitter here, and I could split that radiator hose in half, like in the middle, and then if I needed to add some more space, since I had cut a piece of it off, which was about that much that I cut off, which is about 3/4 of an inch of the original hose, I can put this little splitter in there and put a clamp on this side and put a clamp on that side, and that'll extend it out, if you need to. So, I just bought that. I end up not needing it, but I bought one anyway. So that's another option you can throw in there. Well, I guess I didn't have to tear the whole thing apart to get the condenser out. I just pushed it forward, and I was able to get my limbs down there and unscrew. Got 2 screws in it, and unscrew the AC lines, and just pushed it forward and prized it right on out of there. Alrighty, so okay, got it all tore down where I need to be. Now it's time to get the new parts and put it back together. The Jag has no power, and I need to get it towed. There's a trick to putting the car in neutral. Alright, what you got to do is you got to lift the center console, pop out this little center piece right here, pop that out, pop right out. You got this little lever right here. Since it's electronic gear shift, you pull that lever, pull it up, and it puts the car in neutral. Simple as that. All right, here's another tip for the condenser. If you don't want to go out and just outright buy a brand new one, it normally comes with the dryer already attached on it. You can buy the dryer separately. Dryer is just like your oil filter. So, this is where all the trash goes in the system, protects the system. So you definitely want to replace that. What you can do is, if you got an air compressor, you can blow some air through the connections over here and check them down here. I would get like a nice white cloth, turn it on the side and blow air through it and see if you get any kind of trash or metal shavings or something coming out of it. If not, if it's nice and clear, and it's not leaking or anything, all you gotta do is just replace that dryer, and you should be able to just hook it back up. But I just decided to go ahead and just buy a whole new dryer and condenser. That way I know for a fact that everything's brand new. So each his own. Just another tip. All right, I just reinstalled the heater hose, and I had to screw down clamp on this end over here, and I just was able to stick my screwdriver in there and tighten it up. Then I bolted back up the intake manifold here, and I got everything all reconnected where it's supposed to go. Good thing to do is take a picture of what you're working on with your phone before you take things apart. That way you can have a good reference to look back at where everything goes. You know what I mean? And so it connected up nice and neat. And I still waiting on my compressor to come in, and the condenser to get in. And once that get in, I'm gonna get that all installed, and before I finish everything up, get the AC line recharged up there, I am going to I'm gonna spray some degreaser down in there because I found it kind of greasy when I was working on it down there, you know, trying to grab the intercooler pipe, and my hands was like super greasy. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just spray it down and take off that skid plate underneath the engine, and just clean it all up. It's probably a good thing to do. You know, the more trash you keep out of the engine, the better the engine runs.